Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here. Many of us in our earliest exposure to space travel was through TV shows, movies, such as Lost in Space, Star Trek, Star Wars, just to name a few. Everyone appeared in good health on these sets, and they were very nicely arranged and spacious with large windows looking out into the starry sky. However, many differences exist in how astronauts are displayed on screen and as they are displayed in real life. One area not shown on the screen is how outer space affects the human body. The human body developed to live and function in Earth's atmosphere and gravity. Every part of the human body depends on gravity to keep it functioning properly, beginning with the bones, the muscles, the heart, the circulatory system, eyes, organs, skin, eating, drinking, urination, standing, sleeping, and other various performance activities. In the near future, astronauts will be traveling to Mars. They will be exposed to weightlessness, cramped living areas, lack of drinkable water, no fresh fruits, no fresh vegetables, and very high amounts of radiation. Loss of bone density was one of the first discoveries made that humans faced in the space environment. Astronauts float instead of using their legs, hips, and spines they would normally use if they walked. Due to lack of calcium, bones become brittle, weak, and susceptible to breakage. To counteract this, astronauts eat a special diet and exercise up to 2 hours a day. That slide is a little further up ahead, but it's part of the bones part. When astronauts return to Earth, they need to undergo a rehabilitation program, and they may never regain the bone mass that they lost while they were in space. When astronauts return to Earth, they need to undergo a rehabilitation program, and astronauts also get a little taller in space due to less spinal compression. However, pain is associated as a side effect from this lengthening. After they return to Earth, astronauts regain their normal height. Also, their eyesight is affected. Some astronauts experience mild visual changes along with the optic nerve swelling, retinal changes in the shape of the eyes, which suggest intracranial pressure. The muscles can weaken or atrophy during space flights, leading to fall-related injuries and accidents. Astronauts could lose up to 40% of their muscles after being in space for 5 months. Upon returning to Earth, they could have problems trying to stand and with their balance. Radiation is a concern. The higher radiation levels in space could impact the health of the astronauts and cause them to suffer from cancer later in life. Astronauts have also reported seeing bright flashes of light which were caused by cosmic rays passing through their brains. In the future, deep space trips could expose astronauts to lethal doses of radiation, which is an increasing concern. But some good news came from NASA's studies of the Apollo astronauts. Even though they were in deep space in a very poorly shielded capsule, they had not shown any evidence of increased risks of cancer. The psychological effects from cramped living areas, drinking recycled urine, and nothing but empty space outside of the windows has shown that astronauts are at risk for anxiety, depression, and psychosomatic symptoms. There's a possibility they could experience emotional problems of sadness or depression when realizing only half the mission has been completed. Interpersonal tensions and a decrease in cohesiveness among them aren't uncommon, and these problems could be rooted in sleep problems, homesickness, sensitivities, and even having a lot of free time. NASA astronauts talk to psychologists every 2 weeks and write in personal journals 3 times a week. In space, help could come through a computer program being developed to help astronauts find solutions to problems, helping them fight mental disorders. It has been noted, though, that the astronauts on the Apollo missions from the 1960s and 70s came back with very positive attitudes. A big problem in space is that the astronauts do not have fresh water to drink, and the water on the space flight can float around in big globs. In outer space, an astronaut's blood moves toward the body's upper parts, leaving less blood in the lower parts of the body areas. A common appearance an astronaut face has is a puffy moon face, which is due to the body fluids moving upward. Some other effects that astronauts have are their immune systems. They could get a head cold and feel dazed. We catch head colds and flus all the time because of changes in our immune system. Researchers believe stress is caused by inadequate sleep and poor eating habits. Recent studies suggest that spaceflight may temporarily alter the immunity systems of astronauts on long missions. This is a concern for NASA as it looks at 6-month and multiple-year space missions to asteroids, the moon, and Mars, because a simple cold or flu could be a very serious problem in space. The cardiovascular system, the hearts do not work as hard in outer space and therefore could lead to a reversal of a previously conditioned heart muscle due to long periods of weightlessness. Inner ear imbalance astronauts experience which can cause problems with orientation as they lose the sense of direction because their inner ear no longer functions properly and could further impact tracking, moving objects, operations, maintenance, landing, docking, manipulation, and emergency landings. Like seasickness, astronauts can experience space motion sickness, which can last a few days. There are specially designed bags to throw up in. However, if not used properly, vomit can float around in a glob and hit an astronaut in the face at a later time. Sleep deprivation is one of the most common problems. Astronauts must change their body clocks from the Earth's day-night cycles. Astronauts sleep in sleeping bags that are strapped to the walls. Astronauts eat a special diet of freeze-dried foods that are tasty and nutritious. They exercise 2 hours a day, and a computer program is being developed to help astronauts find solutions to flight disorders such as depression, conflicts, and homesickness. If you look at the astronauts, the way they exercise in space, there's an awful lot of wires and really makes you appreciate our gyms here on Earth. Okay. In the 2030s, NASA wants to send a human to Mars. Mars is a great distance from Earth. No human has been gone from Earth for that long of a period of time. Astronauts selected for the trip will be test subjects for something that has never been done before. And more work still needs to be done to sustain astronauts in a foreign environment, and that's all. Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much. Oh, yes.
If you
I'm sorry? Oh, I don't believe no, I didn't. But it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. Does any more questions? Okay, thank you.